Wow.
All right, so we're going into the
have a drink
iDubbbz
real quick.
segment. Yeah.
Have a drink
So
here, guys. Get ready for this.
I'm going to introduce this iDubbbz therapy session segment. Guys, iDubbbz, I mean, whoever could have foreseen that this was how his life was going to end up? If it wasn't bad enough that he decided to date a crazy fucking cunt that was going to ruin his life, it wasn't bad enough that he accepted her having an OnlyFans, selling her body for strangers online, accepted being a cuck. If it wasn't bad enough that he apologized for every single thing he ever did online, backtracked on all of it, whipped himself through the streets in penance. I'm sorry for saying the N-word. I'm sorry for saying the F-slur. I'm sorry for being politically incorrect. And did like a tearful bitch-made apology, memory hold all of his old videos. If it wasn't bad enough that he's completely fallen off, he was utterly humiliated by Sam Hyde, tricked, the memes about him, he's the puppet master and all this. If it wasn't bad enough, iDubbbz decided to start, and this is crazy, a podcast called My Wife Ruined My Career. And on this podcast now, he has sunk to a rock bottom depth that I don't think anybody could have ever predicted, to where he's now brought on a psychologist, a therapist, or whatever you want to call it, not even a real one, by the way, a YouTube psychologist therapist.
By the way,
to do a public struggle session with him.
Ashton, isn't it funny how when we first discovered this podcast, it's like, oh, he's leaning into the joke. My wife ruined me. And it's like 7 eps in. The truth. Bros, he used to get millions of views per video. This video has 2,500 views in 2 days.
Yeah.
Go
there's
ahead,
there's a point in this where iDubbbz actually confesses that, like, he's now broke as a result of all of this, but he says that he'd sooner be poor than be an evil racist and act evil like he did in the past. The worst part of it for me was when he got to the point, and I've said this earlier in the show, teasing it, but he actually said that he's unable to speak from his heart anymore. He can no longer voice his own views because he says that he's been so used to letting Anissa speak for him. And there's so many moments of humiliation, so many moments of degradation throughout this.
Guys, strap in.
How they thought it was a good idea. Like, therapy is like where you reveal your most like vulnerable self, your most humiliating like aspects of your your flaws, your defects, your deepest concerns and worries, stuff like this. I'm not even really a big believer in therapy myself. I'm sure there's some people who it does help, but
I'm gonna see if it's monetized.
The idea of a public therapy session where you reveal yourself at your most prone and vulnerable for an audience of online trolls that hate you, that just are gonna pillory you and embarrass you to the nth degree, is one of the most retarded things I've ever heard of or could have ever conceptualized.
It is monetized. It is monetized. He made a good $4 on it.
This is a humiliation ritual.
Right.
Okay, so this is how it starts. This is how every one of these podcasts starts.
It's so funny.
She ruined my career, and it's just the truth. We're owning the meme, guys.
Get it?
It's just total ownage because it's actually true. Yeah. This video only got 2,500 views. His career is totally ruined. Ash, no respect from anyone.
Indulge me. We're doing the good old Warski social blade checkup here. He makes $500 a month off this.
Buddy.
Bro.
And you see the views are falling off, eh?
Wait a second. 1.5 million? 146 uploads? Oh my God.
Okay. So guys, you could not pay me enough money to actually endure what iDubbbz is about to endure. This is so bad. Let's just get into it. But for $500 a month, he's doing this to himself. And this is all Anissa's idea, by the way. This psychologist is one that Anissa has been watching for years. And this apparently all happened because they coincidentally met up at a breakfast place. Like, the guy walked in and saw iDubbbz and Anissa there, and they're like, oh my God, it's the psychologist. And then they invited him on the podcast. All right, just hit play.
All right, here we go.
All right. Greetings and salutations.
Okay, this room. Can we just 1 second, guys? It's fucking haunting. This is the room you die in a horror movie. Like, this looks like the in between. I think I said this before. The kitchen and the living room in Resident Evil 7 in the house.
How could they put less effort into their studio than
us?
I don't understand it, man.
Look
All
at
right,
this
let's
garbage.
Everyone, we have our second guest ever, Dr. Kirkonda.
Second, wow.
Yeah. Our first guest was Adam, who is a furry.
Oz!
Okay.
Like, the self-felt just starts immediately. They're like, yeah, our first guest was a furry.
And now it's a therapist. We gotta watch the furry app too.
Well, no, it's the guy from Your Movie Sucks.
Oh, I like him.
Is he actually a furry? I don't know.
I like his videos a lot.
I used to watch his videos.
Your Movie
back in the
Sucks?
People are saying he is a furry. Oh no. Yeah, and the therapist he looks real concerned in this moment. Like, look at him.
He's like, so do I?
What sort of show did I come on?
Wait, Ash. Oh my God, this YouTuber. So I've seen this therapist around, like, from some other people's videos. Do you think he goes, iDubbbz? He types in iDubbbz, fucking 3.4 million. I don't know how many subs he has, subscribers. And then it ends up on the backup channel, Maximum Damage, with 2,000 views. So this guy thought he was gonna it's gonna be a big one. He has these documentaries, and now you're on the shittiest show ever.
And a movie reviewer.
Yes. Maybe I should have said that in reverse order. He's a movie reviewer who happens to be a furry.
I actually cut this part out, but I could have left it in, where Anissa then starts interrogating this psychologist about whether or not he is a furry. I should have probably left it out. But but I was like, okay, this is like filler or whatever. But she's like, do you like Disney movies? And he's like, yeah. It's like, do you like Disney movies with animals in them? He's like, yeah.
Okay.
She's like, do you think that they have suave voices?
What?
He's like, what? And she goes, well, if you do, then you're a furry. He's like, that's not what I would define a furry as. I should have left it in, but I was like, I'm trying to trim this down as much as possible.
Was that Your Movie Sucks' definition of a furry? I don't know.
I think so. I don't fucking know. All right, let's keep going here.
Here we go.
She goes, I hope you don't take this as weird. This is where it gets weird.
Happens to be a furry.
I hope you don't take this as weird, but you remind me a lot of my dad.
Whoa, buddy.
Okay, shut it down.
How long into the
down.
show was this?
This was 1 minute in. Like,
what?
Okay, maybe 3 minutes in.
Okay.
So it started off with the furry thing, and then it immediately transitioned into, hey, I hope you don't think this is weird. And if you look at his face, you can tell he thinks this is really weird. This makes him really uncomfortable. But she's at once during this therapy session admitting to having daddy issues, and then also admitting that she thinks the therapist is her daddy. So this is just fucking bizarre, emasculation of iDubbbz here, just beyond. Anyway, let's keep going here.
And I started watching you when my dad started getting worse with he has early onset Alzheimer's.
Okay, pause.
What a way to fucking intro the podcast, first of all.
None of us need to know that your father has early onset Alzheimer's. Why are you revealing this to people? And look at Ian's body language here. He's so uncomfortable.
Oh.
His girlfriend has just revealed that she views this therapist as her daddy. She's revealed the
Who has-
sensitive info that her father has Alzheimer's, and she's saying that she got into this guy's content when her father left her because his mind started to go. So
And then
she's saying this therapist is the replacement for her father.
Whoa. That's twisted.
So there was something really comforting about it. And you were talking about 90 Day Fiancé,
Were they?
and the way that you were breaking things down, it was very disarming, and it was nice to see.
As my dad was slipping into fucking the other realm from Alzheimer's, your 90 Day Fiancé videos really saved me.
They really got
What?
me through. They really saved me.
That
Look at how
was the-
uncomfortable. Look at how uncomfortable iDubbbz is, man. Like it's like gritted teeth.
The 90
Like just
Day Fiancé is what saved her from her dad dying.
Oh,
That's crazy.
And it was actually
Someone said, what does that mean? I don't know.
the second day after our dog had passed, and we were trying to like
But by the way, great way to lighten the mood for a podcast. Dad,
know?
Alzheimer's, the dog's dead. Wow.
it's just so bad. Like every like vulnerability, like opening up about all this shit. But listen to the way she talks about her dog dying. Like I know that it is really sad when a pet dies. Like it is, you know, because you have them in your life for so long. But she considers it a traumatizing event to where you can barely even function or live. And I just don't think an adult should have that mindset. Call me crazy, but let's hear her go.
He has tarot cards behind him, too. Wow. Cool.
get back into
Okay.
functioning, and we decided like let's
Get
just
back
go.
to functioning. So like the dog dies. Like life has to go on. You have to function. Like it's been 2 days. Like we're completely non-functioning.
Ash,
like we
not
can't
true.
leave the house.
I don't know about you, but when a pet of mine dies, I gotta watch some 90 Day Fiancé breakdown videos to move on. Sorry. Like, you're
Well-
right. I'm just kidding. This is retarded. This is a lot, by the way. Like a lot of info for this therapist. To,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
absorb.
there's a lot to unpack in. So far we have done 56 seconds, but it gets a whole lot worse.
Okay.
eat. And you showing up, it just felt crazy. We had just signed up for therapy again, both of us. We have our own therapist. And it was just like the wildest.
Nice little boost.
felt
I was
like-
that was cool.
Yeah,
Wait.
They each
You
have
showed
their
up
own
as-
separate therapist.
Wait. So they have their own therapist, and then they watch a therapist also to like a lot of therapy happening in this house.
Their
I mean,
whole life revolves around therapy. They're going to talk about like how they're broken people. They're going to talk about Anissa's going to admit that she's mentally 5 years old.
Oh.
And then iDubbbz is going to outdo her and then admit that he is mentally 4 years old. And that they're just children and they're scared and they don't know how to live in the world. It's
How
so
do you
sad.
become a millionaire off YouTube? You're doing so good, and then you're here. You know?
it just felt like
and the
Blitz.
thing about this isn't real therapy. This is like full on just performative bullshit to try and convince everybody they're healing, they're growing as people. We're doing therapy, guys. But all you're actually doing is participating in a humiliation ritual. You're just emasculating poor Ian here beyond all belief.
our
It's
dog had
nightmare.
sent,
This
you
is
know,
like a
made
nightmare reality.
Yes.
this happen. Like he's up there kind of like, you know, it was very cool. So, yeah, also, Ian for my birthday got you playing the guitar for me on
Cameo.
Fiverr? Or
Cameo.
Cameo.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Like oh my god. You know this therapist dicked her down both before and after this session, you know? Like,
Hey, honey, I got your favorite YouTuber singing you happy birthday on a guitar. Fiverr, was it? Cameo. Imagine this Dr. was from Fiverr, first of all.
this is so bad, dude.
Please,
imagine recording this and posting it.
Please,
they actually posted this shit.
Do me
dude.
how much is his cameo? I need this motherfucker doing our intro for one of the apps.
This was her birthday, like.
Yeah, which was so
I didn't know it was you. You must have not mentioned your connection. But okay. What did I do?
You sang happy birthday and just told me to have a good birthday. And
okay.
She
was never gotten a cameo.
wet.
You're my one and only cameo I've ever gotten.
Okay, pause. So this isn't something that she regularly does. This is somebody that's clearly really special for her. This is somebody that reminds her of her father, who she's going to get into she felt abandoned by, and that's the source of her trauma. She's going to say she has PTSD and all this stuff. She is like sexually attracted to this guy. She probably got so wet for this cameo of Happy Birthday and then fingered herself to it while iDubbbz watched. I'm just going to assume that's what happened.
Cameo. You're my one and only cameo I've ever gotten.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it sounds like, the person who got this for you really cares about you kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Which for history,
Weird.
When my dad got sick.
So by the way, she says for history. Like, does she actually think that history is going to remember any of this stuff, or that anything she says or does matters or will be remembered for any period of time? I just don't know why she said that.
Maybe she meant to frame like what we're about to hear or something.
I guess so, but they have these delusions of grandeur. Like iDubbbz in this, I cut this whole section out because it was so self-masturbatory. But he goes on this whole spiel about how he wants to make important videos that make a difference. And it's like, buddy, nobody watched Content Cop and thought that they were like important videos that really made a difference. Nobody watched your unboxings and thought they were really important videos that made a difference, that were earth-shattering and changed world affairs. Like, you are shit. Like, and he really thinks that he influences the minds of his audience.
Like he has invented that the N-word on the internet. Like, he believes because he said that, it made racist people online, by the way.
Yes, that's actually like what he believes.
Yeah.
When in fact, people watch your videos while they take a dump, dude. Like, they watch your video while they like eat fucking takeout. Like, you're not like anything. But he has these like delusions. They both have delusions of grandeur. Anyway.
And the internet was getting really intense about my OnlyFans. I felt like I had to go to therapy. Like, there was nowhere for me to
She go. Let's play it. Let's play it.
Go other than therapy. It felt like went.
What you could have done was just stop doing OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But instead, you decided to cope with doing OnlyFans and cucking Ian and humiliating him and ruining his career by going to therapy. There was just nothing else you could do. Just nothing else you could do at all. Imagine having to go to therapy because somebody made fun of you online.
Yeah.
And I ended up seeing a therapist that I got really lucky. She did EMDR, and she happened to be...
Okay, so EMDR, I looked this up. It's considered a pseudoscience, by the way. It's total fucking bullshit. It's basically you have to go through, you talk about a traumatic experience in your life, and then you have to do certain eye movements. So you have to like move your eyes a certain way during the talk about your traumatic experience. And then you enter like a hypnosis state that allows you to resolve your trauma. It's total placebo effect
hocus pocus bullshit. Yeah, it's like, okay.
A family therapist and a trauma therapist. And Ian just came up in passing, and she was like, oh, do you want some like homework? Like, she was like, would he be willing to come in?
Whoa. Homework? Whoa. Okay.
So now she has to like experiment on iDubbbz at home and do weird therapy bullshit techniques to rape his mind into getting him to go to therapy. It's crazy. Like, just keep playing.
This is nuts.
And at the time, he definitely wasn't. So she was like, oh, do you want
still
like,
had
some
balls.
homework? And so she started giving me homework. And at the time, he wasn't very like open to it. He was like, yeah, whatever. And then I found you, and we started watching you, and you kind of like bridged the gap for him where he was like, oh, like...
It's this guy's fault. Who the fuck is this guy? It's his fault.
No, this is the guy that actually ruined iDubbbz life. This is actually the author of all his pain. The source of all the cuckoldry is this man, this therapist who's now her personal father figure.
This is what therapy kind of is.
Look at how uncomfortable. Like iDubbbz the whole time is like, it's like he's getting like a fucking prostate exam or something. During this, it's like there's like a hand being shoved up his ass.
No, he's being cucked right now. Like this is him. Like he's sitting watching her. Because look, she's eye fucking him, obviously. Look at this.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you're right.
Right? He's
on
the cuck. No. This is like oh my God. It's the same.
This is like mental anguish, dude. Like you can't help but feel bad for him, but like it's all his own doing, man.
It's a spiritual level cucking. That's what it is.
And it's all led up to this. Like every bad decision he's made in his life just put him in deeper and deeper and deeper. And now it's just a full-on sunk cost fallacy where he knows if he doesn't agree to this humiliation ritual, his entire life will just be destroyed even worse.
Yeah.
So he has to sit here and allow his girlfriend to flirt with the therapist that like has fucked up his entire life.
This is what therapy kind of is.
Why do you think he changed?
So I think he saw me go through a lot on the internet. And I think
pause. So she's actually admitting to being the Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
She's like, the reason he changed wasn't because he personally had a change of heart about anything.
He grew or something.
He grew or any of this. It was for her. He changed everything for her because she got made fun of online. So that's why he changed as a person. Just total emasculation. Just totally taking away his agency and like it's wild.
Yeah. And Josh was saying in chat, he was like on the internet. It's not like he saw like, oh shit, like, you know, when she is out in public, she's like freaking out, or she's like changing in like her. No, it's online. Oh, people said my boobs are online and you're a cock. You gotta go to therapy. Whoa, buddy.
And I mean, there's a lot. I'm just gonna say, like Josh knows my experience. There's a lot of lolcows that face a lot more adversity than these two.
Beyond.
As far as I know, I don't even think these guys have been swatted, or any like there is a lot of crazy shit that's happened to like Wings of Redemption, DSP. These guys haven't faced that level of adversity, you know? It's like they were made fun of in the comment section.
Yeah.
And then it required iDubbbz's soul literally being extracted from his body. His brain like being lobotomized and transformed into like this sick, pussy-whipped cuck minion of Anissa. It's grim. It's grim.
I think he started to understand what it meant to kind of put, like what eye for an eye actually meant, or like when you think that you're being fair or balanced, like what it can do to the person that you're directing that energy.
Whoa, eye for an eye. If they're making fun of me, they have to make fun of you. Like, it's like, because everyone's like, Ian, you have to fucking break up with this bitch. She's a fucking retard. And then she projected that hate to like, no, you have to experience the same level of hate that I'm receiving.
He's just totally numb from all the fucking pills and all the crazy shit they've got him on. To like, it's the only way to live with this pain. Like, because if you were a normal human being and you were subjected to what's going on here, you would completely panic. Like, you would lose your mind.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people would feel like such rage at being cucked by this therapist right now that they would get up and fucking beat his ass. You know, but iDubbbz is just like a fucking SSRI zombie. Like, Xander's mine. Just so I guess I gotta take it. But yeah, like the average person who works like a 40-hour work week at a fucking job, has to take care of their shit. Like these guys are entertainers online. Yeah. And they can't handle that some people are mean to them. It's wild.
He used to, I think you were a little...
Go for it.
Well, he used to tell me at the time that it was my problem and that I need to suck it up.
Whoa, so wait a minute. at one point, iDubbbz was in control of his mind. Like, he was like, he had the right idea. He's like, listen, we just have to suck it up. Like, we're millionaires off of YouTube.
Yes, exactly.
We have, like, the easiest job in the whole world.
Just log off, bitch.
You know, like, the thing is, they didn't even need the money from her OnlyFans. Like, iDubbbz was rich. There was no need for this shit. And he's like, listen, just fucking suck it up and persevere. But we're going to learn how that's actually bad advice. And instead, you should just wallow in the negativity and allow it to rape your mind to the point where then you go to therapy where you get a bunch more made up bullshit problems put into your mind. And then you're so neurotic, so in your own head that you just completely melt down and you fry your brain with drugs until you're this cucked out mess being emasculated in front of thousands.
I think, like, yeah, they are, like, now living off of her OnlyFans. Like, it's almost, like, switched. Because she makes money off the OnlyFans. Ian, come on, man. Like, he even said he lost all that money from the boxing tournaments.
He lost, what was it, $250,000 loss?
On both, though. No, it was like
Creator Clash, too?
Yeah.
Holy
yeah, it was 400.
Shit.
There was no profits at all.
Nothing for charity,
Yeah. So she basically, like, became like the man. She took the power dynamic from him, and now he's stuck.
Isn't it be better to just walk away and get a real job and just have your little simple life in your apartment and, like, think back on what you used to be? And honestly, like, it would be better to just be like a sad alcoholic working at McDonald's. At least you have your pride. Yeah. But he doesn't even have his pride here. Like, she's now the breadwinner. Like, what?
And then the OnlyFans drama happened.
Well, can we drill down on that? Because that's a common thing.
Yeah.
Why do you think you were doing that at the time?
Being a man, being based, being awesome.
Why at that time, why did you think you had a backbone, sir? Why did you think it was acceptable to have a spine and stand for something and not just be a groveling, pathetic worm? Like, and you see here, like, Anissa is, like, panicked at the thought of that, Ian. Panicked at the thought of that. Like, look at her eyes. She's worried at the idea that he might ever actually discover what's between his legs again. That he might ever become a man again. She's like, no, that would be the worst fate. Then he wouldn't be my little minion anymore. She's, like, traumatized at the thought.
Wouldn't it also be like, why did she think it was acceptable to bring him down to her level? Shouldn't the person who's doing well pull the person who's down up? No, you're both supposed to be depressed and angry. Fuck that shit.
And this is what happens when you go to therapy, by the way. Don't be conned into doing this.
You snip your balls off, bud.
Yeah, like they just come up with like a million fucking justifications for why you should be a castrated gimp.
To suck it up, basically.
Right. Because that was, I think in a lot of ways, I just did not experience that side of things. And it really benefited me online.
Oh, okay.
How did it benefit you?
Like, you should have, like, I don't even know. Go ahead. Like, this is retarded, dude.
I don't know. Like, he's like, well, I was used to being the hammer instead of the nail. And now that I've been the nail, I realize I'm a pathetic little bitch, and I guess I should be the nail for the rest of my life.
As we all know.
I should just,
as we all know, like, everyone is here. If you are the nail and you accept it and you keep showing weakness, the internet will fucking bury you alive.
Yeah.
They sniff it out. Lol cows, that's how they milk themselves. They can't handle it, and then they fucking milk themselves.
Because I didn't share any of my life or anything. Like that idea of...
Have you thought maybe you should go back to that, bro? Like, wait a minute, I was successful, I was rich, I was winning.
I wasn't sad.
I didn't share my personal life online. Nobody made fun of me. Now I do share all of my personal life online, spill my guts, to the point where I'm doing a therapy session in public with my girlfriend who's sexually attracted to the therapist and is cucking me and mind raping me. Like, whoa, buddy. Like, maybe go back to the old ways. They seem to be working better, man.
sucking it up is definitely something that I felt like I did, and it benefited me. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
I hope he goes, obviously, I was wrong.
Wasn't being fair in my comparisons.
Oh, no, that's not opposite.
He wasn't being fair in his comparison.
It benefited. Okay, what's the benefits? You're now sad, pathetic,
Broke.
She doesn't respect
No
you.
reputation.
You probably have sex once a month or every 2 months, probably. Not even probably. I don't even know. It's probably dead. Probably non-existent.
Like, if someone leaves a hate comment, for me back then, it's like, lol, loser. It's not, 12 paragraphs.
Was
Pause.
the
Why? So iDubbbz. What you're telling me is that you shouldn't overshare online because when people don't have anything to attack you on, all they can say is lol, loser, or generic insults. But when you put your whole life online, suddenly they're able to psychoanalyze and do 12 paragraphs.
No.
But somehow this way of doing things is better than the old way? Listen to what you're saying, man.
my hypothesis is that due to your upbringing from good parents, but given the stress.
Stop it.
What?
That makes no fucking sense. It's just fucking.
Get ready.
Holy shit.
This is so fucked up what he does.
Okay.
There was a potential lack of attunement and disconnection from your emotions.
What does that mean, attunement?
Attunement of parents is when they notice your emotional state.
Why should you feel the same way when your parents are mad at you than when a fucking online asshole's like you're a loser?
I swear to God, this is like techno babble from Star Trek.
It is.
Like he just like throws in all these terms that don't really have any real meaning. And then just like pseudoscience bullshits his way through to justify his conclusion. Like what he's saying doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
Like, why you weren't sad about those mean comments? It was your parents and the attunement of how they treated you. Fucking shut up.
Enough of the time. And number two, they also respond well most of the time. So your dad was in prison and your mom is stressed out.
Listen, I had no idea. And I don't know how many of you, did any of you know this? That iDubbbz father was in prison? Now we do, but did we need to know this? Was this necessary? Like
one guy said yes out of our whole chat.
Whoa, buddy.
Your dad went to prison, and therefore the guy who made fun of you online didn't really.
Saying, like,
Go ahead.
Your dad went to prison, and that's why you had enough self-respect to just ignore mean comments online and not wallow in it and lose your mind. But now that you're cocked, like what
base
the
prison
fuck?
Dad.
Hard to survive, really. And so there could have been a lot of...
Julie said that's why he became a cop, the content cop, because his dad went to jail. That's
time where you were provided for and loved, but it was a stressed out system.
Look, even Ian's like, what?
Yeah, what is this nonsense that this fucking guy is telling me? And he knows, man, this is anguished, man. Like, this is torture. Like I told you, like, this is like Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Like, please may this cup of cuckening pass from me. Like, just sweating blood because he's just like, man, I have no choice but to go along with this nonsense. Like I have to lay down and accept this shit.
Anissa's reaction is like, you see, Ian? You see what he's doing?
And so you kind of had to figure stuff out on your own. And for kids,
this reminds me of fucking like palm readers. The way they like sort of go, there's an H in your name. There's an H, ha.
A situation, we're talking 2-3 years old.
And you go, I like my aunt Helen. And they're like, Helen, yes. Helen is
Gamer
here.
9000 is saying, I'm telling you, he's going to snap and just go off on stream one day, and it's going to be ultimate Kino. We've already seen like the cracks in like his cuck mask facade start to form in the last clip we did of him. And I don't know if you were here for this, but remember he was saying that he basically settled for her, that he put up with things that other people wouldn't put up with. And that was his relationship advice, was to find like a partner that's like a house near the train tracks, where it's like most people wouldn't want to buy it, so the property value is low. But if you can personally put up with it, it's going to be a steal. Like, that was like his way of trying to fight back, but it was still like so beta and buck broken. And then she immediately put him back in his place by revealing that she doesn't shave for him. Remember?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't even shave for you. And he's like, I guess I'm okay with that. It was brutal. Oh, man.
Have emotional experiences, but they don't know how to interpret them. They just feel overwhelming and difficult. And if they're signaling and no one comes, they just there's various different coping skills that children will resort to.
Coping skills. One
of which is just to shut the whole system down. Try to.
This is the longest answer for I had a hate comment that said you're dumb, LOL.
And you got to understand, this podcast was 2 hours long. I've brought it down to 24 minutes. Most of the podcast is just this guy babbling the most inane bullshit. I've left this part in. I think this is like one of the only parts where I let him go on an extended tangent just to showcase how truly worthless and just devoid of any like actual advice, knowledge, or info his entire screed is. It was bullshit. Like, most of this podcast consists of just this guy, like, giving these smug monologues, like, trying to, like, explain these people.
Yeah.
With, like, but none of it makes any sense. It's awful.
In chat, to summarize that, like, thought, Maddox and Juris in chat goes, it's just talking to talk.
Yeah.
Like, I swear I'm a therapist. I swear.
I was fucking losing my mind doing this shit. Like, it's painful.
That's $500. Thanks for the hour. Yep.
Still happening. The emotions are still happening. But when you have enough of that, and then as an adult, you can feel like you're a psychopath. Like you don't have emotion, but you do. Now, some people are psychopaths and don't have that kind of empathy or that kind of response.
Wow.
But way more often it's because of what we call avoidant attachment. And so
oh my God,
when
it's avoidant attachment.
Through this,
here's another buzzword, guys, avoidant attachment. Look at Ian try and pretend like he's actually interested, or this guy's saying something insightful and not just psychobabble nonsense. Okay.
Commonly, don't let me put thoughts in your mind, but you feel responsible, you love her, you don't.
Thoughts in your minds.
But I will be putting thoughts in your mind.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Want her to suffer, and you
Whoa.
thoughts in your mind, but you feel responsible, you love her, you don't want her to suffer, and you're watching her suffer, and it would be a faster road to her not suffering in your head if she just ignores it or forgets about it or
Well, it's better than mentally exploding on the internet.
Yes.
And
no,
burning
it would
it down.
actually. It actually would be better if you just got over it, moved on with your life, tried not to fixate on it. If you're
Spending 4 years.
Oh my God, now I'm going to talk about it in therapy. They actually, at a certain point in this, I hate to spoil this, she actually starts talking about Instagram trolls in therapy and talks about how with her therapist, she fixates on comments through multiple therapy sessions. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, that's a really great way to get that to stop, by letting them know you're getting to them.
Yeah.
By letting them know that it just constantly makes you more and more stressed until you fucking explode and have to waste thousands of dollars on a therapist. Yeah, I'm sure the trolls will definitely leave you alone with that knowledge. Like,
tries to persevere. And often as partners, we'll feel responsible, right? Because that's our job, is to support our partners. And if we
Yeah.
don't
Can this
have-
guy get
No
physically
shit.
assaulted? I fucking hate him.
Oh, I fucking
Holy
hate people
shit.
like this. This guy is a total fraud.
Rambling.
It's
Yes.
total suicide. Like, I'm sure there are people in the soft sciences that actually maybe know what they're fucking talking about, or maybe are able to help with problems. But this guy just lacks the balls to tell them, like, the truth.
Yeah.
Which is that they're just being fucking man-children babies, and they need to grow the fuck up and move on with their lives. And if they can't handle being in the public spotlight, get the fuck out of the spotlight. Like, you can either do it or you can't. Like, that's the advice. And you know what? Razmaz just fucking nailed it.
Go.
PPP, if he tells them that, he can't keep making money. Why would he have any incentive to fix your problems when if you continue to have problems, he can continue to make money? I've never really understood, like, oh yeah, definitely, I'm going to get you to a point where you don't need me and you don't have to keep paying me. Like, no, it's never going to fucking happen.
any resources, and our typical
0% cure rate. That's his happy accident.
way is to avoid, then we might say to someone in a hurtful way, suck it up.
Yeah.
Do you think that? I don't want to put, I'm putting a
No,
lot
I
of
think
things on-
that's, yeah. I think
Yeah. It's
that's
I
for the
Look, he
most
looks
part
to
it.
her.
it's also
Do you see how he turned and looked to her for approval?
Let's see.
a lot
I
of
think
things on-
that's, yeah. I think
yeah. It's
that's
I
for the most part.
Well, she sort of like, she gave him the approval. Like, he was like, that's weird. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, yeah. Yep. That's weird, bro. Why is she speaking for you? Why?
Part it.
it's also super interesting.
Yeah. I think
Yeah. It's
that's for the most part it.
it's also super interesting because I have PTSD from when I was 5. I went into septic shock. I almost died.
Okay,
Oh my
shut the
God.
fuck up, bitch.
Fuck you, bitch.
Oh
she
my
has
God.
PTSD
Oh, bro, I fucking shut up. Holy
because
shit.
she got sick when she was 5 and had a near-death experience. So because of that, she's now traumatized for life. There's no way for her to recover.
No, all
live a
kids
normal
have
life.
had, every kid in the entire world has great childhood from start to finish, freaking span. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Tabaki says there's a timeline where she died and Ian is still a man. We are currently living in the nightmare mode, cuckold zone time.
My parents said goodbye to me.
Look, I am rad forever. Bitch, I had open heart surgery at 2. You know? Like,
It was a big thing. That's what I got EMDR for, which really helped. I used to have I would
pseudoscience.
get triggered by any form of abandonment. Basically,
Imagine
And I would go into-
unironically saying that you get triggered. Like, imagine in the year of our Lord, 2024, telling people that you get triggered and expecting people to take that seriously
By the way,
and not to just fucking laugh at you.
I get triggered by abandonment. Okay, so every other human being in the world, when they're abandoned, doesn't feel shit. Yeah, shut the fuck
And
up.
Charlemagne goes, how does sepsis equal abandonment issues? I don't really understand, because they didn't abandon her. They were at the bedside while she was sick.
Exactly.
But they were saying their goodbyes because they're like, you might leave us. She was the one abandoning them, not the other way around. How the fuck did this lead to abandonment issues? This is something a therapist put in her head, put this fucking narrative into her head, and now she believes it as an excuse for why she's a mentally weak, fucked up person. That's the truth.
a 5-year-old brain, which for him,
Okay.
Rewind. Listen, wait. Let's hear it one more time. Here.
I used to have I would get triggered by any form of abandonment, basically, and I would go into 5-year-old brain, which
So she's now at the point where she's saying she has the brain of a 5-year-old. Look into Ian's eyes. Like, zoom in.
Here, we're zoomed in. Holy
look-
fuck.
Dude, he is staring daggers. He is fucking seething at this. He actually has to deal with a fucking woman child. Some bitch who's mentally 5 years old. And this is like one of the richest parts of this entire therapy session is him like having to explain that like logic and reason doesn't work on her, which is real. It's all women, am I right? But like, holy!
What I was doing? I was scrolling between her, but her look and like just like this goofy to like, bitch, you're gonna what? What did you just say? That's
Charlemagne
funny.
says this still captures the whole thing, doesn't it? A picture speaks 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
He's owned by a 5-year-old. That's right. Holy moly.
For him, was horrible. Obviously, that was like a really.
Oh,
was
you
always-
think? You think? Like having to live with a fucking grown person who's mentally 5 years old. You think that'd be bad? Yeah, no shit.
I'm pretty sure it sucked for this guy.
which for him was horrible.
Wait, by the way, the
They
card, the
posted
tarot
this.
card
They
behind him,
posted this, dude.
the card behind him is literally the devil tarot card. I'm not even kidding. It's the
He's
devil.
in hell. He's in hell.
It's like the-
He's over his shoulder. He's like, my child, you shall suffer in this life and the next, for you have turned your soul over to eternal torment. Like, whoa, man.
So Kino.
Obviously, that was like a really.
I was always trying to like logic it out, and I'm like, man, what the hell? She isn't listening to my logic and my reason.
But he was in the wrong.
Oh,
he
no,
was in the wrong.
He's the one in the wrong.
The 5-year-old temper tantrum mental 5-year-old is the right one.
His tone on that. Can we hear it again?
Yes, I am
It's
fucking
so
freaking.
good.
It was horrible.
It's so good.
I am freaking.
Obviously, that was
It's
like a
like a
really.
cry
I was
for
always
help.
trying to like logic it out, and I'm like, man, what the hell? She isn't listening to my logic and my reason.
Could not get it to
I-
work.
but
I
at all.
was
did
insane. I thought logic and reason would prevail today. But then I realized I was dealing, one, with a woman, and two, with a fucking toddler. And then I realized there was nothing I could do but submit to the tantrums of the toddler and let the toddler call the shots for my career and my life. And now here I am getting cucked by a therapist. Whoa,
Whoa, buddy.
Look at how
Finally
smug the therapist is. Like, he's such a piece of shit.
See, I found your trauma.
I hate
found
this
your
motherfucker.
trauma.
He didn't have to try very hard. They're just like trauma dumping on him. Like from minute one of the podcast, it's like, you remind me of my dad who's dying.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, buddy.
Like when she did explain, like I was going into 5-year-old mode. I'm like, oh yeah, like
That's literally what it
if
was.
that's what it is, then what am I doing trying to like,
Logic.
give you a list of like,
Helping you out, telling you how to fucking figure it out, telling you to stop being a fucking mentally
He's
5
just
years old.
like, yeah, no, this totally makes sense. I definitely want to spend the rest of my life with somebody that when things are tough becomes 5 years old. That's
and won't
definitely
snap out of it, you know?
And no matter what I say, no matter what logic or reason I come up with, I'm just completely helpless to it.
Stonewall.
But I'm the one who's fucking wrong. I'm the one who's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know, Doc. I was abusive by expecting her to fucking be a normal
to
person.
figure it out, you know?
things to
Yeah,
why it's not a
and
problem or
Kibblebites
whatever.
brings it up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. She goes, after this is all over, you had sex with me in 5-year-old mode. You raped me. How could I consent? I had the mind of a 5-year-old. Like, and I won't even be surprised if we live in a clown world future where people can actually be prosecuted for that. It might even happen today. I couldn't consent. You're a mental pedophile. Like, this bitch would be the one to do it.
Okay, like whatever. She's reading all these things, and she gets to the I am unlovable, therefore I deserve to be abandoned, and I just started bawling. Like that
And
was it.
she
Whoa.
read her the truth.
Yes,
It hit too close to home. Because she hates herself. She views herself as unlovable, that nobody could ever, because she knows she's a worthless trash whore, succubus. And it hit too close to home and she just cried her eyes out.
Emus, that's it, yeah. And to have that like reaction and to realize like,
look at Ian in this moment.
Buddy, let's zoom in.
Like he is. Look at. Oh my God.
I hurt myself today.
That's gotta be a fucking emoji, no?
I still feel.
Is that not an emoji or what?
Focus on the pain. The only thing that's real.
Kino.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
This is
I've
what's
come to talk with you again.
It basically is
going on with me and working through that. And I think
I'll add that.
He's so disgusted
working
by this.
on that, even though he wasn't working on his stuff.
Ah!
Me calming down.
So she puts the blame on him again. Well, he wasn't working on his stuff, so it's all his fucking fault.
He's a fucking bum. You know?
Down to the point where I just
I'm gonna make that emoji
was
real
less. I feel like I'm a lot more sentient now, whereas
Pause!
before it was just.
Wait a minute. Is she admitted that before she wasn't sentient? This is a fucking rape case waiting to happen. She's basically admitting to being an inanimate object, like a fucking potato, or like that light switch in the background. She apparently lacked sentience. She now has been given the spark of life. She's been given a soul to have sentience because of therapy. Yeah, I bet.
Was acting off of like almost instinct. Once the OnlyFans drama
He's
happened,
living off instinct.
and it started coming
like
at
a fucking
him.
Like an animal.
Like
At the level that it was coming at me, because I was getting like my
shut the
parents'
fuck
house
up.
got doxxed at one point. They were laughing at my dad for getting sick on some of these forums. Like
What did
just like
you
really
think? What did you think? Because you shared it online?
yeah.
I mean, like that's what people are gonna do because they want to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
I don't think they probably even really believe the stuff that they're saying, but they know because it's extreme and like edgy that it will cause you to fucking mentally spiral like this. So that's why they do it. And you're telling them that it affects you. So guess what? They're gonna keep doing it. This is how the internet works. It shouldn't be, but that's how it is. The forums, the Kiwi farms.
Kiwi Farms really did make an impact.
horrendous stuff. And once it started getting directed
All right,
at
I'm gonna
both
add
of
that
us,
now.
and it was this wave, almost like a content cop level wave of hate. That
Whoa! Oh, so now it's like, see how you're. I wasn't sharing that screen for that second, but yeah, it's like, oh, see, content cop. He did that. The wave hit
you
me.
see, it's all actually her. It's all actually his fault.
Yeah.
Because he put all this negativity out in the world, and then the karmic justice of it came down on me. It wasn't that I was a dirty whore selling my body for money that we didn't need that ruined his reputation and made him a cuckold. No. It's that because he did these videos exposing douchebags online for being douchebags, now all that negativity in the world came back upon me. And how come he doesn't feel bad about it? How come he doesn't just kill himself? Like, look at him. Look at how galvan he is. Look at how pathetic he is.
usually would be sent someone else's way. When he received
Somebody
that,
asked, is Ian going to kill himself or is he going to troon out? I think it's going to be like a murder-suicide.
Yeah.
Like, I think eventually, somewhere deep inside, it'll be like, remember who you are. And he'll just fucking lose it. Like, he's going to go off the fucking wall, man.
No, I actually have a different theory. I think it's going to be like a spiritual death. He will live on, but as like an empty shell of a man. You know, like just like almost just smiling and staring at the wall. Like, you know, like there's nothing in there. There's no soul.
I think his brain like had to like acknowledge like, holy shit, this is what it is. This is what it's like. And it was in the space that he used for avoidance.
Wait, okay. People are saying he's too far gone. Okay, guys, let's do a poll here. Is he savable? Can iDubbbz be saved, or is he too far gone?
What would he have to do to be saved?
I know what.
Like,
do a content cop on her. revealing all their dirty laundry, shitting on her. It's like a 2.5-hour content
he needs
cop.
to just come out with the truth, but he's like ashamed of all the shit that's gonna come out on him. But if he just goes scorched earth and just reveals it all, everybody will have his back.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see the redemption of him, you know? Everybody wants to see the slave rise up against the slave master and overthrow his oppressor, but it's not going to happen. He's just a caged animal. Well, he's domesticated now, you know? It's sad. Right now, 75% say he can't be saved. Only 25% believe even in the possibility of a redemption arc.
All right.
Online. That's where like he would escape. So once it was there and it was inescapable, that's kind of when I think things started.
Yeah,
My
the
dad
gears
was
started
sick.
turning. Yeah.
That was the other thing. My dad got sick, and at the time, again, I think it was an avoidance strategy. He was like, "Oh, your dad's fine. He's just getting older." And my dad's not. My dad got diagnosed with early onset at 56. So he's now.
It's like look at him, man. Look how like browbeaten he is.
Yeah.
She's like he wasn't supportive enough as a partner. He was trying to be positive and optimistic about my dad's health and tell me everything was going to be okay. He should have just spiraled into negativity and was like, "No, your dad's going to be brain dead in a few months and he's going to fucking die." Like, what the fuck?
Trying to be like, yeah, like okay, someone has cancer.
And just like
you go, I hope you.
exposing him. He's like exposing him like this in front of like the whole world. Like,
Yeah.
why do this? Viva La Roz is so on point. My dad was sick. I'm most affected.
Yes.
It's all about her. Me. How can he help me? Da, 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 da. How did this drama affect me? It's not at all like, you know, how did this like fuck up his life, or now like his career is destroyed, like his whole legacy is tarnished. He has to apologize for everything. He's a whimpering little beta bitch boy now. Like, none of that matters at all. It's all about her.
61, and his mind is like gone pretty much. And
like, why do we need to know this? Like, why does everybody on YouTube need to know
For
about
the
your dad's mental
entertainment, you know, the entertaining podcast. Everyone, it's a great listen.
Wow, so
to
good.
hear about people's parents being mentally gone. Wow, you're right. Like,
so they feel bad for her. Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
like, the
that's
thing
what
is,
it
like,
is. Yeah.
Anissa, I don't know if you should wear this, but like everybody's parents will eventually die.
Yeah.
Like, one day, all of us are going to go through something similar to this. And yes, it's very sad, but she's not like unique in that experience whatsoever. And it's just like sympathy farming. You know what I mean? Like, have some fucking dignity. Is this bullshit?
no, it sucks because you wanted to help me, and so you.
Well, I've oftentimes coped by being optimistic about.
You know, like, what a statement. Like, that shit, that might have to go on the soundboard. I've oftentimes coped.
About
Yeah.
being optimistic.
I'm sure you have, buddy.
Being optimistic.
Look into his eyes. Zoom in. Those are the eyes of a man who's oftentimes coped. You can see the cope. It's palpable in those eyes.
But
right
I
there.
like how back then the cope was being optimistic. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what a terrible cope.
Isn't that a good cope?
It's a good
Like,
cope, yeah.
I don't know. Like, when you're negative, somebody was saying this in chat. Like, when you're negative all the time, it does become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is. No, it is.
Like,
It is. Yeah,
it really
no,
does.
for sure. Because then your mind will start to, fucking focus on only negative shit. Whereas positive, you try to like do things to get out of it,
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, just being very like naive.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Go
she
ahead.
has put that thought into his head. Like, she has gaslit him into believing that he's like this naive, pathetic piece of shit. Like,
And
he
he's
has to
being
describe
gaslit
himself
by
that
Andy
way.
Worski.
It's got look how scared he is. Look at the fear in his eyes as she stares him down. Like, that is a
Like,
man
well, the-
who's traumatized. Fuck.
The analogy, this is just the way I think, is that you're 4 and you're lonely, like overall.
He called her
Listen,
four.
if you
iDubbbz
get called,
for you.
listen, if you're called for, like, you tell the person that to fuck off, he's a fag, and move on. Like, it's time to close this channel. Maximum damage should not exist. iDubbbz, stop.
This is
Have any way of helping
Someone
yourself?
said Freebird, and you'll hit the extended goal. Let's not break the flow of this one.
With that, because you're 4, you don't even necessarily consciously know.
This is great.
I'm an
You're four.
incredibly negative person.
look at Ian's face when he said that.
He's like, really?
It looks like he just smelled a fart. You know.
Well, it's sort of like, you know, the end of a mystery movie where they show you how it was like the end of Glass Onion, where he goes, he goes, oh, like it's the revelation. Oh, that makes sense.
And it's a lot of internal negative talk. And I think that he wants to counterbalance my like doom. I'm very like
That
doom
is
heavy.
true.
Does it?
My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why.
I got out of bed at all.
I'm doom heavy. I'm doom.
And I'm a piece of shit for being positive.
She's doom maxing.
Yeah, doom maxing. I love how he's being raked through the coals that somehow it's wrong to be positive when she's such a negative, horrible bitch.
That's
Like-
the opposite.
Like we're living in the fucking upside down now. Like
Does it help to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a coping. Part of it is like my whole
it's
family is
definitely
very
a
negative.
coping.
Yeah, it's definitely a coping.
Now she throws her whole family under the bus. Her whole family is also negative because they abandoned her by supporting her on her deathbed when she was 5. So it was her family being negative by putting false thoughts into her head that she was going to die that led her to this point. Like, there's always somebody else to blame. You know, there's
I'm
always
cope
some way to
heavy.
make her feel... Yeah, it's cope heavy.
I'm cope heavy.
But on top of that, like we weren't really. It wasn't acceptable to show emotion when I was growing up.
What?
So I.
You know
Okay,
what? Like this on point. He goes, it wasn't acceptable to show emotion growing up. Translation, my dad punished me justly for having temper tantrums and making everything about myself. So true, King. Way to felt this BPD whore. God bless you.
When I was growing up. So I internally, it just was mean to myself and would talk to myself really horribly.
That,
Right.
Yeah.
You could have been even targeted more. Someone could have shown up at your house and
You could have been murdered. Yeah, okay, well.
You know, like when somebody says that they're a really negative person that's like fixating on like negative things that could happen and it's hurting their life, you know what the best thing to do is? Tell them other negative shit that might like cause them to spiral and lash out.
You could be killed.
It could have been way worse. Like, you could have been killed. Like, great fucking psychology work there, Doc. Like, I'm no psychologist, but I feel like anybody, like even a layman would know that's counterproductive. But okay, Doc, go on.
You know, someone could just like use a crowbar and break into your house at 4 o'clock in the morning and stab you in your sleep. That helps.
Yeah.
but at the very least, losing your career, losing your purpose, losing your work.
Whoa.
You have.
Money.
This is pretty negative talk, man. Like,
You're gonna get killed.
it's going to make you feel better. You're going to lose your purpose in life, your career. You might even die because people said mean things online. Okay.
So to make that choice, that I don't know, I mean, I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head anyway who, given that cognitive dissonance, would make that choice. It's a commendable thing. And that example, I think, should be highlighted,
Yeah.
regardless of what
Like,
it is.
wow,
why?
Ian, you're just
turning-
like Jesus, buddy. You're a fucking messiah. You're doing such good deeds by fucking felting your entire career to performatively virtue signal online about how it's okay for your girlfriend to sell her body online. Like, what is this guy on? Like, what sort of drugs is he taking out of his tickle trunk himself? Like, God only knows. This guy's brain's fucking fried.
to less anti, but that ability to reevaluate.
Wait,
to-
and she cheated on her guy to be with Ian. Whoa.
take that leap.
You know,
Like
we
blindly stick up for her, or stick up for her when it's right to do so.
when it's right to do so.
Why was it right?
Why
He's
was it
trying
ri-
to fish. So the therapist is trying to fish here for a way to defend Ian for his past comments. Just keep that in mind as
Okay.
he's like desperately trying to lead this horse to water, but he can't make it drink.
Your dad
It
was
actually-
mean to you once, so you said the N word.
This process also, like I actually cut out about the 4 minutes preceding up to this. So just realize the therapist was trying to get iDubbbz to say this for like 4 or 5 minutes straight before we got to this point. So
Okay.
because she's being hurt, and I
Unfairly.
don't like, unfairly,
Yeah.
and I didn't like seeing that, and it hurt me to see that.
Sounds like empathy, folks.
Hurt.
Pause.
Everything's hurting.
Bring it back. But do you see what he did? He goes, sounds like empathy, doesn't it? Because remember, iDubbbz said that he had never experienced empathy
Oh,
until he was
yeah.
30 years old. So the
And-
therapist is trying to create a construct of iDubbbz having empathy, but it's like pulling fucking teeth. And this is now going to lead to the absolute rock bottom moment of the interview. The moment where any sort of hope that you had for iDubbbz just vanishes and you realize he's
Wait.
a truly lost soul doomed to
Just
suffer for
now?
all time. It gets worse. This is actually, I think, coming up is the worst moment in the whole thing.
I
Unfairly.
don't like, unfairly,
Yeah.
and I didn't like seeing that, and it hurt me to see that.
Sounds like empathy, folks. Just want to highlight
Thanks
that.
for walking me through that. It felt uncomfortable.
That's
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
No, this is good because I have this problem where I talk for us.
Yeah.
I've always had that
God.
problem. And
She's doing it now.
I'm doing it now, but that's why I love that you're in therapy because
Yeah.
I think that
I'm getting
you-
better at it. Having no choice but to confront it head on. It's like really like,
my
okay,
God.
fuck. Anissa's not here. What do I say?
Shut the fuck
Pause.
up. Shut the fuck up. That's worse than the way you explained it, bro. That's way worse. The way he said that was worse than him saying she talks for me. He's going,
What?
oh, how do I interact? Anissa's not here.
Can we bring it back 30, 40 seconds and just go through this again? Because it's just unbelievably buck broken. Like, this is the saddest and most pathetic thing that I think I may have ever witnessed in my entire life.
Nuts.
Because he's saying basically he's become so dependent on Anissa to think for him, to make decisions for him, to speak for him, that he no longer knows how to speak for himself. He no longer knows what he wants or how to advocate his own wants or needs or desires. He is just a complete slave. He's just a complete castrated gimp. It's so grim, man. It's so sad, man.
Someone said Joma sisters.
Want to highlight
Thanks
that.
for walking me through that. It felt uncomfortable.
That's
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I love. See, I
learned
love. No, this is
helplessness.
good because I have this problem where I talk for us.
Yeah.
I've always had
Pause.
that problem.
So it's just complete inverse of traditional roles. Like, it used to be that the husband was the head of the household, that he would speak for the house, that he would
couple.
speak for the
Yep.
couple. Now she's the one that does it. And he's not even like consulted on it. She's the one that's just in complete control. And she says that that's a problem, but there's like really no steps being taken to correct that. It's
Yeah.
grim.
Is he wearing a tablecloth as his pants?
What is that?
What the fuck? It looks
Oh
like
my God. What the fuck is that, man?
it's like a blanket
did
you
he-
put on your couch.
Yeah. Where did he
fuck
get
is
these
that?
pants, dude?
I just was like, wait, what the fuck?
and
She's doing it now.
She dressed him, said, holy moly.
And Johnny Average is so important here. They're admitting what the trolls say. They're admitting it's all true. She does run his show.
Yeah.
She is the master of his life. He is just a total puppet. She is the puppet master. And he is just but a mere puppet of her. It's sad.
By the way, someone
This was
said,
the worst decision of his life.
I thought this too, by the way. Yeah, bandana pants. It's like the material that a bandana is made of, like the pattern.
I'm doing it
Yes,
now.
that's so on point.
The
That's so
pattern.
good.
Yeah.
But that's why I love that you're in therapy, because
Yeah.
I think that
That's
I'm getting
why
better
I
at
love
it.
that you're in
Have-
therapy, because you're just becoming such a broken gimp that it'll always be that way. I love that you're in therapy. Look at him there, man. Like, is he actually orgasming at the humiliation of this?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
that's like an orgasm
Look at that
face. Like,
zoom.
is he getting off on this femdom shit, like this female domination? Like, is that what this is? Like,
His lips.
keep it
look
to the
weird.
bedroom, brother. Like, what's going on?
Look at his lips. They're fucking weird in this pause.
They're saying it's
Is his-
lobotomy face.
is his
It's
tongue-
orgasm.
His tongue is like falling out of his face. Like,
Is it a new emote?
I think that's the emote, not the one I made. I think this is the emote. I'm gonna try to make it more just towards like the face, so it's seen better on the small sticker there. All right, I'll make it. That's the one. Yeah, everyone's like, that's the one.
Having no choice but to confront it head on, it's like,
And by the way, you were saying, yeah, it's so true. She's like, what woman wants like their man to not be able to have their own voice or lead? First of all, lead, and B, be the lead, his own voice. You're happy that he's like lost without you.
But look at this.
No
look
woman
at this
wants
face
that.
now. Every frame is a new emote. Look at this one now. That's what was that? Wide-eyed and felt it.
You know what
Like,
I could do?
holy
I
shit.
can make this. I can make these all non-sub emotes, so we have like, because we have way more room on the non-sub emotes, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I can do that.
really like, okay, fuck. Anise is not here. What do I say? I don't know. Speaking from the heart or any of that stuff it is learning curve. There's a learning curve.
Pause.
And
Like, how can that be? Like, how can that be that speaking from your heart, speaking your true feelings, your actual emotions, like what's in your mind, is a learning curve? That you just don't have any emotions or thoughts or feelings of your own? Like, that is, he's admitting he doesn't have a soul.
Yeah,
Like, he's admitting that he is just a little puppet. Like, he's a little
No,
gimp.
I'll even
Like, that
say
is the most
this.
down bad statement I've ever heard. And people would say, like, probably said, "Oh, I don't believe you, PPP." Like at the beginning that he said this, like you over exaggerated. No, I think I actually undersold just
Yeah.
how brutal this is. He has lost his self. Like it is learned helplessness. Like this is the sort of re-education that like Russian gulags wish they could have done to fucking people that were anti-communist. Like this is like Winston at the end of Big Brother where he loves Big Brother and the tears come from his eyes. Like this bitch put him in the Ministry of Truth and pegged the soul out of him. This is scary stuff.
my view, and there's evidence that this is neurological, because
Whoa! So now this is like a neurological brain chemistry issue that you have now been permanently chemically altered by the SSRIs that you're on, by the conditioning that you've received from her, to where you're now permanently buck broken, you're skull fucked, your mind is just gone. That's great. Thanks, Doc.
this is, I'll just keep repeating it, but the way I see it is, neurologically, you as a child fail to develop those connections sufficiently and or ignore
Shut the fuck up.
it sufficiently such that the neurons stopped being connected. But
That happens to me actually with him. He doesn't want to watch my animes, and I get sad.
okay,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
At least he has some.
No.
At least he has some set. Like,
There's-
I'm not gonna watch the ad. Like, anime for him is so bad when he's just like, listen,
Yeah.
I'll be I'll stop doing all my shows. I'll stop saying the N word. But anime, nothing.
That's like where he finally draws the
That's the
line.
line?
It's his like,
It's the
I will
anime?
not eat the bugs. I will not watch the anime. I won't do it. You
So-
can't make me.
But we'll watch Naruto again eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, I see why.
Oh wait.
Oh.
But, she now says it. Look at her.
she's just reveling in her power over him there.
But no, but
she's like,
yeah,
"Look,
she's
you're
like,
gonna have to
"Oh,
watch
we're gonna watch
Naruto."
By the way, it's like is that an anime for kids?
Yeah, Naruto's garbage.
Yeah. If you watch Naruto,
Yeah, she's getting
Naruto,
off on forcing him to watch
like,
fucking
guys,
Naruto.
please.
This is hell.
Figure
This
it out.
is
Figure it
hell.
out.
Sure. Definitely.
I have to say, the online abandonment feels like of both other YouTubers.
How do you say it? Naruto?
I don't know.
Naruto.
I call it Naruto. But I don't fucking know.
Naruto.
But
viewers
go
has been-
back here.
Sorry.
5 seconds. Look at his face. Look how confused he was there. But she's
Definitely.
going to say here the online abandonment from their viewers was the most painful part of their entire life.
Wait, it's Naruto.
To me, actually, with him, he doesn't want to watch my animes, and I get sad.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we'll watch Naruto again eventually.
Yeah. For sure. Definitely.
I have to say, the online abandonment feels like of both other YouTubers and viewers has been the most.
Okay, you change your entire personality, change your content, change everything, and then you're like, why are you abandoning? People don't watch us because they like to see us smile. No, they want to hear what we have to say. If we start a golf show tomorrow, we lose everything. Okay?
Did you guys see the Masters or what was it, the PGA Open this week? Be like, what the fuck? What happened?
You know?
painful, and I've been through a lot
Okay, someone's like, I'd watch it. Okay, well, I would say most people.
physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
The most painful thing we have ever been through.
Wait.
Like,
No,
if that's
no,
the-
no, it's not. It's not even
Whoa.
that though. Like, here, physically and emotionally. Why do you think? Because it's the true answer is financially. Emotion.
You know what? That
Because you're sad about the money, and physically because you're now becoming slowly broke over time, right?
yeah.
Wow.
Well, listen, Kung Flu Wang's got a good point, though. They're talking about their audience abandoning them, but iDubbbz explicitly called his old following a bunch of creepy, racist basement dwellers.
Yeah.
So why do they owe him anything? He already told them they were bad for even liking the content he used to make.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
Here it is. Patrick Amsterdam perfectly put this. He abandoned them. He abandoned them.
Of what happened.
We'll get one for
So
you
to
next
have
show.
people like be like, he's not happy with it. He hates it. It
Yeah.
was very painful because it's like, why are you saying that? You don't even know us.
Yeah.
But I can tell just by the look on his face right now that he hates what's going on. Like, look at him. That's not a happy man. He's literally frowning. His eyes closed in pain, clenching his teeth, downcast, like depressed. I don't know what to say. Like, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, it's like, how do you change your entire, not even like what you do, but like your outlook on life and expect things to be the same? Like, you go into a depressed state, stop making videos, you change your like topics and your attitude, and you're surprised everyone's like, fuck you. And by the way, not only that, they were smug about it too. They weren't even like, we're so sorry, guys, that we just feel deep down. No, they were like,
No,
you are
yeah.
bad people. You're the
no,
bad
they were
ones.
smug and pretentious and talked down to everybody and were like self-righteous.
Exactly.
And then it all went to shit for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were like podcasts discussing it and stuff. It was very weird
Yeah.
and hard. And
Yeah. It's. I can't.
What do you do?
Wow, podcast talking about the person with 5 million subs who's changed his entire outlook on life.
That's weird, but you know, like when he used to criticize people, it wasn't weird. you
Yeah.
know?
And also,
Like-
you know what's weird? Just changing overnight and going, hey guys, never mind. Everything I told you was a lie. That's weird.
You did look.
It would be actually more weird if no one talked about it. You'd be like, why is no one talking about this?
Men's lacrosse.
yeah,
and
lacrosse and hockey.
And she always told me, because I wasn't in team sport, she was always saying how.
Pause. It really shows, doesn't it? It really shows he was never in team sports, right? But she was. She did the masculine stuff. She did lacrosse. She did hockey, but not him.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So much worse to lose a game than it felt good to win, kind of thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the same thing when it comes to your like presence online. Like obviously for every 20 positive comments, the one comment holds about as much as a power as the 20 negative ones.
Okay, I've heard that before, right? But
Yeah.
it's actually vice versa for them. There's 20 negative comments to 1 positive. They all look positive because the fucking brooms are out, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah.
But the comments shouldn't hold any power. They should have the confidence in themselves and in what they're creating that it doesn't matter what fucking some random people online are saying.
Yeah.
Of course, they're soft.
Or positive ones. And I think that is also true. Just the waves of hate. It doesn't, even if it's just one day or a small controversy, it's so much worse than like a legacy or multiple years of doing well, doing pretty good.
Really?
You would.
So in his mind, like one day, like one video failing or having a negative reception outweighs the entire legacy of your career, like years of doing well,
Wait, what?
all the money you made, the life that you've lived. That's fucking bullshit. Like, what a horrible fucking negative attitude this guy has.
May I rehear that? I want to hear one thing.
As the 20 negative ones and
Hang on.
or positive ones. And I think that is also true for the waves of hate. It doesn't, even if it's just one day or a small controversy, it's so much worse than like a legacy or multiple years of doing well.
Okay, so I think what he's saying is, I have this huge legacy and great videos and da-da-da, and then one day everyone hated me and that really like overshadowed my previous legacy. No. You shit on your legacy. You went, what I did was horrible. He was the one who pulled his legacy away from him and went.
And the thing is,
you know what I mean? Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too, like, if what he was doing now was actually good, it wouldn't even matter. But with the content he puts out, like, we've reviewed some of it on the show. It's terrible. Like, remember the ants on the log video?
Was the worst, man. Or the fucking playground rating tier list.
Playground rating tier list, the tiger tail. Like, they're all just terrible. They're just trash. They're, like, just completely sanitized, just, like, no effort garbage. Just the worst content. It's one thing if you don't want to make, like, racist, edgy, like, videos or content cops, but you have to make something of value, and people would be more willing. Like the transition from like Filthy Frank to Joji is where I draw a parallel. Yeah, Filthy Frank sold out, and he doesn't do that stuff anymore. But the music he puts out, people love it. Like, it's good.
He blew up.
He has a new audience of fans that don't even know what he did in the past because he has talent. He has ability. Whereas iDubbbz has fuck all. Like, that's all. That's just reality.
Yeah.
Tough.
It's not like he okay, I stopped doing offensive content, but now he's like the greatest video game reviewer of all time. And you're like, whoa, I like his game stuff actually. Like, it's better. No.
And Johnny Average brings up.
Sorry, go ahead.
He brings up the most important point. He never shit on his old stuff. He never humiliated his old fans and said to them, "You're garbage for liking that," and apologized for it and cried and like. So, even though some people are like, "Well, he's a sellout," it's easier for them to accept than what this is. This is
for
horrid.
sure.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You would think of all people, the two of you would be able to, what they, call it, you would have thick skin, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about someone's random opinion. I'm not fragile like that, but
It's about it because people online.
Wait, what? Wait.
The therapist just felts them. The therapist
I thought you guys
fucking.
Wait, but the therapist led them into that road, and then he goes, "Anyway, you should have thicker skin." Just what?
Like, you think out of anybody,
Out of anybody. Whoa, that's a feltoning.
Let's bring it back. Let's hear it one
Love
more
it.
Care about
time.
what they, you know,
Sorry, let me go back.
all people, the two.
Shit.
Doing well, doing pretty good.
Yeah.
You would think of all people, the two of you would be able to, what they, call it, you would have thick skin, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about someone's random opinion. I'm not fragile like that, but
About it because people online love diagnosing me with BPD. They love telling me I have BPD or just straight up narcissism. I was telling
You do, though. You're literally a narcissist. Come on.
my
stop.
therapist.
Everyone has degrees in narcissism, but you're like full on, fucking shut the fuck
This
up.
actually the other day, some guy in my
NPD.
Instagram comments was like, "I'm a psychology
In
student."
her Instagram comments, she's now actually complaining about her Instagram comments. Imagine even reading the Instagram comments.
Imagine ever giving a fuck. Oh.
And Anissa is a textbook narcissist, and she just laughed. She was like, "There
Yeah.
so many layers to why that's ridiculous."
Yeah.
Who
These
gives a fuck? Someone said you were a narcissist. You should hear
And
what
this-
we
that-
get by our own
now this-
fans.
Now this comes up in her therapy sessions. Oh man.
Comments like they don't go away. I think over time they actually build up inside of you. Typically in our
Well, it's
situation,
like-
what happens?
Like imagine saying that, like, well, it never gets any better, and every time that somebody says a nasty thing to me, it all builds up, and then I have to do a therapy session. Yeah, they're gonna keep trolling you then.
Well,
'cause
now-
it's very,
exactly.
very effective.
Now
Yeah,
they're like, wait, that one comment created this moment? Okay.
you just
Time
know
to
the
make
guy
30
who left
alts.
that. The guy who just left that comment is just coming in his pants at just how much it caused her to see.
Is things get controlling or abusive, and then the split happens. And I asked Ian this morning because I was so curious. I was like, "Do you ever feel like the relationship got controlling?" And interestingly enough,
I said I felt like I had control in the relationship.
which is
Whoa.
How gaslit is this guy?
Hang on.
And he's being gaslit by Andy Worski.
Whoa. That is actually like nuts, bro.
Whoa.
That is crazy. So she controlled him, changed everything about his soul, his life, his content, everything. And he thought he was winning the whole time. She must have some sort of like NPD power, like narcissistic personality disorder. Like she knows how to fucking really get into your brain and create that fucking like that worm that changes your perspective on life.
He was
Gaslighting.
controlling and abusive. Yeah.
Wow.
very interesting because I was definitely
Get ready for
very
this story.
anxious. A lot of crying, a lot of just
Sounds
if-
like a dream.
if I felt like
What a dream girl. That's what every guy wants. Lots of crying.
That makes me hard.
look at him here, man. Look how miserable he is in this moment.
He's
man.
like
His brow ridge has become Neanderthal like.
oops. He's like literally he's like thinking in his head, maybe some sort of like thought is entering. Maybe this is a bad idea. Like as she's talking.
like there was even a chance that he was going anywhere or upset with me or whatever, I was like really having a hard time. But I think it was internal hatred. It was never outward. So it was a lot of inward panicking. And I think the first time I had a breakthrough of like, I need to work on this was your mom is very awesome. I love your mom a lot.
By the way, like, okay, you've identified the problem. So can you go like, all right, everything I made you do was retarded and I'm sorry. And we're obviously, no, it's like, I'm working on this. Okay, when does it get fixed? I'll tell you when. Never. It's just this endless loop of me. And no, I don't. I'm still broken. Well, listen, you got to make an ultimatum, iDubbbz. Listen, bitch, if you can't figure it out, I'm sorry, this is not going to work. And you have to find your own path. I'm sorry. Like, come on. But she's broken him too much. He's buck broken. It's over. It's over. I believe, chat, you're right. It is actually over.
This story she's about to tell is insane, by
Let's
the way.
hear it.
It's the moment where iDubbbz could have saved himself. He could have saved his career. He could have saved his sanity, saved his manhood, and stayed a winner. But he caved and was broken forever.
Let's hear it.
Work on this was your mom is very awesome. I love your mom a lot. And he called me one time after we were together in Edmonton. He'd flown back home and he said, I don't want to talk to you for 2 weeks. Or no, you said, I don't want to talk to you, and hung up the phone. And I was like, holy shit. This is
the king moment.
What's going on?
So iDubbbz finally had enough of this bitch's shit. He grew a pair. He went, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Click. And then just no contacted her. It was Kino. And he didn't live with her yet. It was still long distance, back and forth, right? So at this moment, his life was saved. He had mustered up what strength he had to say, no, this is bad for me. No, get the fuck away from me, you crazy bitch. But then his own mother snakes him. Sad. Get ready.
Going on. Like, I was panicking. So I contacted his mom because we have a very good relationship. And I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, he needs to know that you are going to like let him exist, that you're not going to like.
But so the mom at least had some good intentions. So she lied to Ian to get him in her clutches and still changed him.
But like the mom is like aware that the statement, let him exist. Like, but she didn't let him exist. She destroyed his conception of self.
Yeah.
To where he now doubts being able to speak from his heart or have his own opinions because she speaks for him. It's so grim.
This is fucked.
Make this a problem that he has the freedom to like do what he needs to do. And so she was like, do not contact him until he contacts you. And for 2 weeks, I managed to not reach out once. It was the hardest thing.
This is like the moment in sales where you're going for the close and it's the first person to talk fucking loses.
Yeah.
And iDubbbz mom snaked him on this and fucking revealed the secret to her that all she had to do was ice him out and then he would feel, whereas if she had kept blowing up his phone and he would be like, oh fuck, this bitch really is a needy, crazy, smothering bitch and I need to get the fuck out of here. iDubbbz mom led to this downfall. I hope she's proud of herself for stabbing her son in the back and leaving him in this horrible situation.
But also, I agree with you. But also, he failed the no contact. He had to you have to still, if she's not contacting you, you can't be the one who contacts her. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you can't break that no contact. If she's a crazy bitch and then no contacts you, you're free. I can show you the world all alone.
The thing is, she had still done enough damage to him that he was completely insecure.
Yeah.
And then he felt needy and that he was broken.
Yeah.
He reached out first.
Alex.
He talked first, and then he was closed down on the deal, and it was game over.
Literally felt like I was dying. Because that's what my therapist said. Like,
wait,
look at him. Okay, those are like some skeptical eyes that he's giving her there. Like, I felt like I was dying because he wouldn't DM me. Like, red flag on the play. Like,
I managed to not reach out once. It was the hardest thing I had ever done. I literally felt like I was dying. Because that's what my therapist said. Like, back when this happened to me, that I had almost died, you start to internalize this feeling of like abandonment means death.
You're so right in chat. The moment she had no power over him anymore, the moment he was free, the moment he was off the leash, she felt like she was dying. Look at him there. He's thinking back on that moment. He's thinking back on the time that he still had agency, that he still had free will, that he was still a person and not like a broken Schmeagol fucking golem corrupted by the one pussy to rule them all. the one only fans to rule them all, that Buck broke his mind. Look at him there, man. He's like sorrowing. Like, that's the look of despair.
Look at that zoom.
Over
That's
a life
very-
that's lost. Like, that's utter
Oh my
despair,
God,
man.
bro.
This is honestly like the most hurtful thing I've ever seen.
Fuck, dude.
This is bad. But the 2 weeks I didn't contact him, and he ended up contacting me 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I felt.
You lose.
Yeah,
Dasa.
I think a lot of relief, and I was ready to.
Why did you want to do
They're
that?
all saying that Gollum destroyed the ring. Cast it into the fire, iDubbbz. Let it go. Don't let it corrupt your soul, man.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Gollum did
I've only
destroy
watched,
the ring in the-
I only watched 2.5 of the movies.
Well, to be fair, they're long. They're long as fuck.
I forgot why I didn't watch the whole third movie. I forgot.
I think I just, it's.
I can't remember why.
I think, I don't know.
The coke ran out, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But
I don't-
even though Gollum had to destroy himself to destroy the ring,
He dies?
it's a question of whether or not you're gonna live out your life as like a wretched, subhuman animal just under the dominance of evil, or whether or not you can find it within yourself to redeem yourself at the cost of one's own life. This is really the moral dilemma that iDubbbz finds himself in. And it's tough.
Oh, he falls in. Woo!
want to say like cliche words or anything, but feeling smothered or just feeling like there's too much. I was so used to steering my own ship, not having any responsibility other than to look out for
no.
myself.
Was there a
No!
How? What a negative trait. I'm used to steering my own ship.
Oh,
For fuck's sakes, dude.
man.
because
Oh,
we touched on it during the podcast, so I want to make sure we get to it. What is the future for iDubbbz? Because I want to know.
She
from
asks
you
her
and
what the future of iDubbbz
He
is.
asked her. Yeah.
She goes, I want to ask you, Anissa, what the future of iDubbbz is. She doesn't ask Ian because Anissa's the one steering the ship now,
So
buddy.
you tell us what's in store for Ian. That's fucked.
So, because the way that you talk, it sounds like you're floundering or searching. And
And then she nods her head. Did you see that?
Well, but
it
here's the thing
sounds
is-
like
oh my
you're
God.
floundering or searching.
This
Yeah.
is like a tale as old as time, bro. The woman takes control, takes the man off his path. He fucking loses it all. And then when someone's like, why doesn't he fucking figure it out? She goes, I know, right? Because of you, bitch. Tale as old as time.
and we talk Thai PC culture
He's
stuff.
floundering because Anissa.
Is there something in
burned
there
his
that you're
ship
like,
down.
well,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it was all wrong.
right.
So this therapist is like trying to be like, is there anything in your past that you aren't ashamed of? Is there anything that you take any pride in whatsoever that you did that was anti-politically correct or anti-SJW? I'm sure you guys can all predict the one thing that he is proud of. Let's hear.
I'd be like saying the N-word. All right, let's see if it's that.
Yes, for sure. I would say specifically the one I had mentioned
go.
to you at the start of the
General Insomnia got it.
podcast, the one about Keemstar. I was like,
There we go.
I think there.
There we go.
Oh, so it's still okay to make fun of certain people, but not every.
Yes.
But what about
Anybody
fucking
who's
Leafy?
anti-woke.
But Leafy's the same shit. So like, wouldn't that be okay for the whole Leafy thing? You know, like the logic doesn't like carry over to everything.
There were bits and pieces of that I wouldn't include now, but I think someone did need to say something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now everyone's saying something about you fucking cock bitch.
Can you imagine if he just found it within himself to destroy the One Ring here by just dropping a hard R on her? He just goes, Anissa, you're up. And then it's like hallelujah choruses, angels from heaven come down. He's lifted up to heaven like Enoch. He no longer has to die.
His hair is
soul
flowing.
is redeemed. Jesus is like, you have passed your test, my child.
Oh, he floats you.
Want to say that it's the whole reason I, made the apology in the first place instead of making like a content cop type video on myself, because that was another idea.
Like, this is an idea that he had, or that Anissa had, that he would do a content cop on himself.
Watch this.
A content cop type video on myself, because that was yeah.
Watch. Why?
Want to say that it's the whole reason I, made the apology in the first place instead of making like a content cop type video.
That was her idea.
Yeah.
That was her idea. The content cop. And he's like, he somehow managed to go, nah, I'm not going to do that.
He's like, I can't do this. I can't do this level of humiliation ritual to myself. I'm just going to cry tears out of my eyes like a bitch and
I'm
apologize.
going to tiptoe off the screen. I'm going to be over here now. I'm not going to. Yeah.
Video on myself, because that was another idea.
He should have.
Where it was like, oh, I can just entertain again and,
I'm sure that would have entertained.
do the same thing I did to other people to myself.
I thought about that. I thought about inviting.
I look back at my first stream and I
Thank
sound.
God. Whenever I see him start to talk and then it cuts, I'm like, thank you, Ashton. Thank you. Hallelujah.
So different.
Oh, you have no idea
It
how
was
much
bad,
bullshit.
right?
Buddy, we cut an hour and a half off.
It was probably like crazy nuggets of gold. Like, guys,
It was.
like if you watch the full thing, it's tedious. Well, that's why you watch and support the Kino Casino.
Higher pitched. Like, it's just weird to even, when you're 21, 20.
Yeah.
You look
Bring
at
it
that and
back.
you're like, what?
So she's now saying she's like looking back at her younger self when she was more feminine. She had a higher pitched voice. She didn't have all these tattoos. And she finds it weird and discomforting to look back on the version of herself that still had promise, that still had hope, that wasn't a totally horrid, rotten bitch. It's interesting.
Look back at my first stream and I sound so different. Higher pitched. Like, it's just weird to even, when you're 21, 20,
Yeah.
you look at that and you're like, what the?
Yeah.
And I had I was very misogynistic and weird,
Based.
So like
Red
that.
pilled,
What?
etc.
I think I hold a lot of.
I'd love to hear what her misogynistic takes were.
Do we
Like,
have a video? Like, can I see this?
Does anyone have this?
I need this.
self-hatred for coming into his life. And
Wait, so that means he got her when she was based and awesome and like fucking made jokes about feminists and shit, all this stuff. Then he goes, oh, this is the girl. I need an offensive girl who could take a joke, thick-skinned, whatever. And then she just changes. More masculine, depressed, 5-year-old, fucking like controlling, yet somehow like, I don't know, man. This is crazy. The heel turn, yes. the heel
we've
turn.
had a lot of conversations, and he's changed a lot of opinions just from talking to me and
Oh,
meeting
man, that's
people and
horrible.
doing things that he normally.
He's changed a lot of opinions just from meeting me.
Whoa.
This isn't helping the case. Like, you guys were trying to say that, oh no, it was all like him on his own that he had this growth. Anissa had nothing to do with it. Sam Hyde's crazy. He's just being a misogynist by saying this. No, you guys are just full on out admitting what all the haters have been saying all along is completely true.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
wouldn't have done.
And by the way, they were trying to be like, no, that's not straw, man. You're gaslighting. No. Everyone was right. And by the way, not that hard to fucking like discover by their actions.
Had I not been in his life.
You're worried that you ruined him.
Yeah, and it is like it's a common theme.
It's a
people were saying,
well-founded fear. It's reality. Yeah, you did ruin him. You did.
before that video even came out, and
they definitely were after.
Yeah, and I've asked him this a couple times, like if he could go back to being the way that he was and thinking the things that he was, and have all the money again and all the.
Oh my God, bro.
Isn't it worse Isn't it
Cool, and
worse?
everyone liked him, and he had money.
Isn't it worse than I even said?
Yes,
Like it's
you
just
kind of
so.
you bait and switch me. Like you're like, yo, it's pretty bad, man. You should see what he's. Holy fuck, dude. That hit me in the soul. If imagine like you have a girlfriend who like you were awesome, cool, and rich, and then you have a girlfriend who ruins your life. 4 years later, goes, would you change it? Would you want to be rich and cool and awesome, and never meet me? What like? Does this dress make me look fat?
No, my queen. No, my queen.
Fucking God, bro.
Ah.
This rules.
The success and whatever, or be where he is now. Like, which one would he choose?
He's
And he always
seething,
tells
isn't
me,
he,
like,
right this
I-
moment?
Oh, buddy.
He always tells me he'd rather be this. He'd rather be
now that I know
broke
what
and
I know.
pathetic. Oh no.
No. Listen, anyone in the I wouldn't even just say men. It's not even a man, it's a human thing. Every person would go, yeah, if we could fix all these mistakes that we did, yeah. Probably would go back.
Know what I'm feeling, I can't, like, the idea of going back is not an option. But even the boxing, that's jumping off.
Even the guy laughed. Even he laughed.
It's not an option.
And
Ah!
the therapist laughed. It's not an option. Are they married?
Oh, yeah, they're married.
No. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and she kept your last name, right?
Yeah.
Big oof.
Off the diving board, like, he had no physical anything, and then he picked a guy.
Wait, what do you mean he had no physical anything? Like, wait.
She says iDubbbz had no physical anything. Like, just brutal, man.
But
Wait.
even the boxing, that's jumping off the diving board, like,
Oh, the boxing.
he had no physical anything, and then he picked a guy that is like, he was like a D1 athlete and had been doing pad work for like 10 years and was bigger than him and was
God.
familiar with competitive stuff,
and
he was like, I'm gonna
and
fight him.
Familiar with
and-
competitive stuff. Like, just complete emasculation. You have no physicality about you whatsoever. You're weaker. This guy was bigger than you, and he was familiar with being competitive. Like, he had that masculine spirit to him. Now, get ready. The therapist is about to unleash a vicious dunk, like, from hell.
intimate with anatomy, so he knew how to break you.
And
He knew how to break you. iDubbbz was broken.
This
The
cup
coke
laugh.
laugh.
Whoa.
Oh, my God.
Whoa.
Ah.
and even
The internet's
Oh my God.
accused.
This is a fucking
Press-
brutalization.
Press 1 if you feel
I gotta
bad
use the
for
bathroom.
iDubbbz.
Give me a second, bud.
Press 2 if he deserves this fate. Let's actually do a poll.
I'll full screen you.
Let's do a poll here. /poll. Well, Andy's in the bathroom. Let's see here. Do you feel bad, or does he deserve this? Right now, Andy, 83% say he deserves it.
Yeah, he does. By the way, it's so funny how she doesn't respect him, right? Because she dated him because why? He was a millionaire. He was cool. He was respected, right? So all the things that she got with him for, right, for clout or whatever, right? That's why she liked him. So now she may love him, but she's changed him that when she looks at him, it's not the same iDubbbz. Like, wouldn't you want to be with a person that you fell in love with and the reasons why you fell in love? But the N-word is offensive. Oh, stop.
By the way, we
Stop.
got the Grim Feeder for $5 saying the levels of derangement these therapists inspire is inconceivable. This has been some real bend over and I'll drive shit. How is this allowed? Even fucking New Age Messiah wasn't bent over and driven this bad. Like, The final result, 84% said he deserved it. Only 16% felt bad.
That's brutal. All right, let's
He was
finish up.
bent over with diameter. Oh, by the
Accusing
way,
you of-
this therapist, I think actually the funniest part may still be to come.
Okay.
The therapist's like closing statement, the analogy he comes up with, it's like, why was his mind going here? Anyway, let's keep going.
All right.
me, so he knew how to break you.
And even
If the internet's accusing you of being the puppet master, then we should be applauding you. You know,
Yeah.
Applauding you for ruining this man? What
The
the
hits
fuck
just-
is this guy
The
on?
hits just keep coming.
Holy shit. Holy shit, bud. Buddy, you can't write this. That's fucking nuts.
I was gonna say some kind of Hitler analogy. If only
Let's go, Felton, etc.
Whoa. Bring it back. He's talking about like how Anissa is Hitler.
accusing you
Like
of
this is like
being the
What?
puppet master, then
Fucking,
we should be
and fucking iDubbbz is in the shower right now.
applauding you. You
so.
know,
Wait, this guy's like alt-right. He's like the alt-right Nazi bull, and iDubbbz is the leftist cock. Is this what we're being told? Is this the reality we're living in?
I was going to say some kind of Hitler analogy. If only Ava Braun had such influence. But that's stupid.
Whoa. So wait a minute. No, he's going in a different direction. He's saying that iDubbbz was like Hitler. And if only Hitler had had someone like Anissa to buck break him, that the Holocaust could have been prevented. And he's basically saying Anissa has saved millions of lives, has saved the Jewish people from genocide by buck breaking iDubbbz's mind. iDubbbz was the future leader of the Fourth Reich, destined to lead Germany to glory. And then the CIA sent Anissa in to buck break him. And that's what happened. Like, how is this even happen? Like, this is the most insane shit ever.
This rules. This rules.
Ava Braun had such influence. But that's stupid.
You think?
That's comparing you in the past. But
What?
so
What, sir? What?
I guess that's comparing you in the past. But so
Past
I fuck
iDubbbz
the
was
hater.
literally Hitler. To sum it all up, he goes, fuck the haters.
yeah,
Right.
I'm working on it. I think
I don't know. I am.
Are you?
She's working on
How many
fucking
years?
the haters. I mean,
how many
well,
years does it take to fuck
no,
the
I mean,
haters?
she means she's literally fucking the haters, as in the haters come over and fuck her, and iDubbbz watches in the
Yeah.
corner. That's what she means.
A bit of a
Yeah.
sponge and like
You know, Anissa's the kind of woman who would watch our clip and go, "These guys make a point, iDubbbz," you know?
I forgot about his next statement he's about to make. Somehow it gets even worse. Bring it back 5 seconds. Let's hear him say that he's a sponge that absorbs everything that Anissa graces him with. Like,
He does
oh my
not
God.
say that.
this is the most cucked thing. It's even more cucked. Like, this is iDubbbz. He's about to say, essentially, that Anissa's bulls, he admires them and he aspires to be like them. And I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
yeah, I'm working on it. I think
I don't know. I am a bit of a sponge, and like a lot of the things that she describes, like admiring in other people, I'm like, I kind of want to strive to be like those people.
This
Even when we're
This
fucking-
is bad.
I'm fucking cringing,
This
dude.
is
I'm
actually-
fucking suffering watching this.
This is
How
worse.
much more can he take? How much more abuse can he take? Someone
Like, just-
put him out of his misery.
Suffer,
Oh
Ian.
my God, dude. Fetch the rope for him.
I don't know. It's made me a little bit trying to think. Like
Cocked?
like
I rope instead of iDubbbz. Sorry, guys.
just being I think, more thoughtful and like not a lot of these like super toxic masculine traits and like,
No,
you know,
stop
alpha
it.
male.
That's not
No,
what girls
stop it.
want.
He's
Don't
saying,
want that.
He's actually, Andy, did you hear him? He just said that he was not an alpha male.
Yeah, no, he's saying he thinks it's a good thing to not have masculine traits. Earth to world, Earth to Ian, women want to fuck men with masculine traits.
I can't, it's like the horror of this man's existence.
Yeah, I'm
the
sure.
nightmare mode of his life.
Folks, women love when you're a fucking bitch.
When you're
They
a
love
doormat
when you're
and
a
a sim.
follower.
He's actually using the phrase toxic masculinity. Get ready as he describes the formerly toxic traits that he has, that he's now been freed from through her guidance and enlightenment and wisdom.
Okay.
This is
Being
like the worst
aggressive,
ending.
Being loud, you know, all this stuff.
He's
like
no
she's
longer
been very
aggressive.
vocal.
He's no longer loud. He's quiet. He's obedient. He's docile.
Since the beginning that she doesn't like that, and it's like she's been very vocal since the beginning of being loud, masculine traits, and like, you know, alpha male, being aggressive, being loud, you know, all this stuff. Like she's been very vocal since the beginning that she doesn't like that, and it's like it's painful in a lot of ways to like even experience someone doing that, even if you're not connected. It's like, oh man. And I've kind of like
So what made you funny, entertaining, like your energy, your oomph, you know, it's just gone now?
He's talking about feeling pain. Like, I'm feeling pain right now. Like, I'm actually feeling physical pain in my testicles. Like, like this man has been completely castrated, and like my balls are like afraid. They're like, please don't do this to us, man. Like, don't do this, man. This is fucked. Don't ever do this to yourself. Look at what he's done to himself.
Don't.
I guess I never really had a strong opinion one way or the other about that.
What?
I think I was probably just towing the line of society in a lot of ways, where it's just like, yeah, I have some general like ideas of maybe how I should act as a man, and that probably is a little bit more on the aggressive, a little bit more on the ignore your emotions.
Wait, so you're like natural intuition of being a man, you know, your natural whatever, like just like your drive, like the thing that made you a millionaire, which is your aggression. You know, you want to, you know, like you're competitive, you're, you know, your pizzazz. That you suppressed it for her because she was like, come on.
Like, the loathing and hatred, by the way, that she has just looking at him, like how dried out her vagina is at this moment as he says this shit. I mean, this is fucked.
Yeah. Your mojo. Yeah, exactly. Your mojo. No, and she's, again, she thinks she wants to control him, but she looks at it. What is this bitch saying? No, she wants the guy to be like, fuck that. No, man. Like, I want to make money, man. I want to do what I want. I want to be fucking alive. Okay, I'll be docile.
Kind of side of things.
He's already dead.
So yeah,
He's dead, dude.
yeah. Over the years, just being very open to, I think what.
By the way, that's it, Alexi. She was shit testing him. This is a shit test.
Nisa admired kind of put me on that path a little bit more, where I'm like, yeah, and even just thinking about it myself, I'm like, yeah, like having like outbursts or being aggressive, I don't know, like random road rage examples or people on reality TV. I'm just like, I don't like how like the lack of control it seems like these people have. And
man, he has really been like Clockwork Oranged, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything that's like his natural desire or drive has like been broken out of him. And now when he even thinks about acting like a man, he like experiences pain and discomfort, like the Ludovico technique.
Mm.
It's actually like, this is like Soviet, like mind breaking, like MK Ultra level, like destruction of his soul.
It's like having a dog collar on and he's trying to get out of the yard and he's trying to be free and he can't because he gets Shocked.
And once I saw that myself, I'm like, oh shoot, I don't have control right now.
Cuckwork Orange. It's Cuckwork Orange.
On this moment
No.
of how I feel or any of this stuff or what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you talked about that screaming match you had in Canada, and you could hear yourself reverberating half of the buildings. You thought, like,
So he won.
what is happening?
I was like, I've witnessed other people do this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm in it right now. I am that guy.
Yeah.
He's standing up for
Which,
himself,
like,
and that was
yeah,
wrong.
I think
Yeah,
Worst
because
thing.
he was a little bit too loud.
It's commendable that it.
Okay, whatever he was that mad about, that it reverberated across all of Canada, this hotel in Canada. Maybe he was right.
I have a feeling he was right. I have a feeling he was right.
That's a Y in the road.
Yeah.
There's
I'm so excited that he's doing therapy. I think it's like we're both doing therapy at the same time. I just think it's so cool.
when you get out of sessions, do you go like, "Oh my God, I just had this thing"?
Yeah.
Does
'Cause
he? Does he do that?
We go. He goes. Well, what did you talk about today? But we go at the same time.
This sounds like girls talking like, oh my God, yeah. Look at the posture, bro. I asked you this, but look at his shoulders. That says it all. It's like an incaved, like there's no like shoulders. There's no like this. It's not like, it's like almost, he's like fucking in himself now. Because he's just lost all posture, all energy, all manhood. He really is just dead inside.
We see different
But it
therapists.
did get worse.
Same time.
So we just go into the room at the same time, and then we go off to our different.
Yeah, sometimes I'm coming out, I'm crying. Sometimes she's coming out, she's crying.
No!
And there it was. He's just totally destroyed. That was how the interview ended.
What an ending!
Sometimes he comes out crying from therapy. Sometimes she comes out crying. Sometimes they both come out crying. And then they cry together about what pathetic pieces of shit they are.
There's only one consistent. Her pussy is always dry as fuck.
Cockroach Wing says, I need therapy from watching that. I actually feel really depressed.
I want to end the show.
I-
I'm sad.
You know, how are